Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the Rambam Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah Perek Zayin, the 7th chapter. Ois Gimel, the 3rd letter. Hadavarim shemaidim lenavi b'maru hanavua. The things, the messages that were revealed to the prophet in his prophetic vision, derech mashal maidin lo, it would be given to him in some kind of metaphoric type of a way. Umiyad yechakek b'liboy pisroin hamashal. And immediately, almost instantaneously, engraved in the heart of this prophet would be the explanation of this mashal, of this parable. B'marya nevuah v'yada mahu, in his prophetic vision, and he knew exactly what it meant. Kama sulam shara Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu in the Parsha, in the next week already is going to be the Sulam Yaakov, the ladder of Yaakov. What was the imagery? What was the message? The parable that Hashem was sending him. Umalachim oidim v'yordim bo. There were angels going up and down the ladder. V'aya mashal l'malchus v'shibudam. It was a mashal, as a parable to the nations of the world that will rise up against Klal Yisrael and the shibud and the slavery and the persecution that they're going to put us through. Yecheskel ben Buzi saw different animals, v'hasir hanafuach, or he saw the sir hanafuach, which was this boiling pot, makel shakar shara Yirmiyahu, or Yirmiyahu himself. He ended up seeing other images. He saw a rod and from an almond tree and the like. So they knew v'megale. And Yecheskel saw some kind of a Megillah, Ephah Shira Zechariah, and then there was the Ephah, which is the measures that Zechariah himself saw. All of these things, says the Rambam, the moment that they saw it, V'chein Shar HaNavim, and all the other prophets, Yesh She'en Oimim HaMashal U'Pisona K'ma'elu, they were able to say over the mashal and the explanation as well. Some only just said over the explanation. Some only said over the mashal, the parable. Without explaining it. Yecheskel was Zechariah, like we find by some of the words of Yecheskel the prophet and Zechariah, they only said only saw what they saw, but they didn't say over the explanation. All of the prophets, they saw everything in like a riddle type of a way, and it was a mashal, it was a parable, it was a metaphor, and with that is how they would be misnava, that is how they would end up having their prophecy. Now the Rambam goes on and he says like this in Dovid, in the 4th letter, the prophets were never allowed to have prophecy whenever they wanted to. And rather they had to focus in all of their mind. And they had to sit and get happy. And have a glad heart, and they would have to have they seclude themselves, and they would be misbaited. They would get into the transcendental state. Because nevuah, prophecy, cannot rest upon a person if he's sad, nor if he's lazy. He's got to be joyous. He must be happy. Therefore, in front of the prophets, there used to be people playing instruments, flutes and lyres and harps and the like. And then once that music, it was special, mystical, beautiful music that would pull at the heartstrings of the Navi. When they would get into some kind of a transcendental state through the music, then they would be able to request the Nevuah, the prophecy, to come to them. That's what it says in the pasuk. They are prophesizing. They would go in the way of receiving prophecy until they actually got it. Just like you say, says the thing, just like you say, this one aspires to greatness, so too the prophet wants to receive that greatness, that glory from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore they're doing all of these things to bring them to happiness, to bring them to joy, to open up their minds, to open up their hearts, to allow the neshamas to soar, so that they will be zeich to receive nevuah, the prophecy from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Have a wonderful day. Let's just finish one last piece over in the Rambam, and this is in Ois Hey, letter Hey 5. Elu Shem Mevakshim Liznava, there are those that want to have nevuah. They're called Literally, they're called the children or the disciples of the prophets. Even though that they focus in their minds. Sometimes the Shekhinah will dwell upon them. And there are times that it will not rest and dwell upon them if they didn't reach that place in their nevuah that they need to reach to be able to receive the prophecy from Hashem. All the best.